Aaron Rodgers is now officially in Pittsburgh, and he spoke with the Steelers media yesterday and shared some insights into why the Steelers were the right fit for him. So I want to share this quote here from the press conference. He is asked, "Why was the Steelers the right fit for you?" Rodgers answers, "I think it starts with Mike Tomlin. I've been a fan of his for a long time. There's a few iconic franchises in the NFL. I played for one of them for 18 years. This is another one of those. There's something special about obviously this area. So many great quarterbacks are from Pittsburgh. I feel like Pittsburgh has been a part of my career from the beginning. Playing for Mike McCarthy for 13 years, having Tom Clements or Tommy Clements, depending on how old you are, as my quarterback coach forever, Dom Capers, Kevin Green, Darren Perry, Ben McAdoo, Frank Signetti, and Luke Getsy. I don't want to forget anybody, but a lot of Yinzers in my life." And so I think looking at Rodgers going to Pittsburgh, the biggest difference between his first departure from Green Bay going to the New York Jets, looking at the situation he found himself in with an unstable organization, with Robert Saleh, who didn't really have a ton of experience as a head coach. He had been there for 2 seasons before Rodgers got there. And in those 2 years, he goes 4-13 in 2021 and 7-10 in 2022. Now, I'm not saying it's all his fault because Zach Wilson was the Jets' starting quarterback, but when you compare the level of experience that Robert Saleh had as the head coach of the Jets when Rodgers got there, and now you compare it to what Mike Tomlin has been able to do during his long career with the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's just a night and day difference. And so it makes a ton of sense why, Mike Tomlin seems to be one of the biggest reasons that Aaron Rodgers decided to join the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I don't think he had a ton of other options, but it seems that, the main reason he felt comfortable coming to Pittsburgh was having Mike Tomlin there. And I would imagine, based off of what Rodgers experienced in New York, just with all the different issues that came up there over 2 years, I assume, seeing an organization that I think is similar to the Packers in the way that they just have a lot of stability. They've had a lot of long-term success. There's not a ton of, distractions consistently going on. And it felt like with New York when Aaron Rodgers was there that was seemingly the case for a lot of that time. And I think that happens when you are struggling and not finding success. Things start to go south. And so I think, having Mike Tomlin there, who's never had a losing season, 18 straight years, 12 playoff appearances, 7 division titles, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and 1 Super Bowl victory. Rodgers is coming into a place where he knows that he has someone that knows how to find success, that knows how to win. Where with Robert Saleh, he just had never, as a head coach, found that success at that time. And maybe if he had more time and a different quarterback his first 2 years with Zach Wilson, maybe things would be different. But now Rodgers has someone that has really proven what they can do. And so that's why I think that this is a really solid fit for Mike Tomlin, for Aaron Rodgers. I feel like they have a lot in common just because they've had long, successful careers. They both know what it takes to, find that ultimate Super Bowl success. And so it feels like Rodgers has someone that's like at a level playing field just when it comes to understanding, culture in a locker room and finding success, where in New York, it's like Rodgers was one of the only guys who came in with that prior success. And so he was having to try to make, try to sort of change the culture himself, where now Rodgers is entering a place in a culture where there's already that level of success and that level of accountability with Mike Tomlin. Of course, for the past while, the Steelers have not found that playoff success. For four of the five last years losing in the wild card round, but still Mike Tomlin being able to have that consistent success, shows just the kind of head coach he is. Now, of course, you want to see that playoff success, and I think with Rodgers, they're going to have a chance as long as the defense can keep playing really good football. I think they definitely have a chance to win a playoff game. And then here's one other comment from the interview. Here's what Rodgers said. "A big attraction was Mike Tomlin. I've gone against him over the years. the way the conversations went between him and I, between whatever it was in March or April and the last Sunday when I called him, was some of the coolest conversations I've had in the game. Definitely with the head coach. So he's a big reason I'm here. I believe in him, and I'm excited to play for him. And so it's pretty clear that Rodgers really trusts Mike Tomlin. And so I think when we look at the Steelers heading into this season, some of the biggest questions here is, can Rodgers at 41 years old, can he still play at a high level? Can he get back to anywhere near what he used to look like in Green Bay? Because I think last year with the Jets, I think he played some pretty good football, 28 touchdowns, 11 picks. That's not bad. And it seemed that later in the year, he was playing a little bit better football, and that makes sense considering he had dealt with the injury and coming off of it early in the season. And so it's going to be an interesting one to watch here to sort of see if, Rodgers can sort of elevate his play a little bit more, because if he can just play a little bit better than last year with the Jets and the Steelers defense can be a top 10 unit once again, then this is a team that I think will make the playoffs and has a chance to win a playoff game. When you have a guy like Rodgers, you never know what could happen come playoff time, so that's why I think this is a good bet for the Steelers to be making. But if you want more Steelers content, NFL content, feel free to subscribe down below. You can follow me on Twitter at LukeBeller3. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.